I would just wondered if you could start off this conversation by telling us, like, what are kind of some of the special challenges that mothers may have with daughters that could be different? Like, what makes it different and special?
Yeah, it's different and special. I like that you actually include those 2 words together. But the arc of the relationship between a mom and a daughter is different than the one between a mom and a son, in that when your child is born, and we're gonna assume in this case it's your daughter, there's a connection that's made between the mom looking at, cooing at, responding to the daughter, and that your daughter in your arms is now experiencing you as her first female object, okay, um, entity outside of herself. And what happens is, as your daughter develops and she goes into her toddler years, we won't cover that, goes into her tween years, that's where around that time, tween teen, is when developmentally a daughter is now having had what 10, 11 years of experiencing you as her mom. She's now getting to a point where her identity is starting to develop, and she has to come to decisions as to whether or not she wants to be like you or not, or what does it mean to her to, here's what femaleness has been modeled to me all this time, is this what I want to do? And so her process then becomes, how do I identify as myself, my own separate entity outside of my mom, and will my mom be okay with that? Okay. And that comes in all shapes and sizes. Whereas with a son, you still have the same, caring and nurturing, the way in which you respond to your child, say in the case of him being the child being a son, the way in which you respond to him tells him stuff about the outside world, but not about his maleness.
Mm,
And so when he reaches his teen years, that becomes his identity thing, and he's looking for what he's going to model himself after. And a mom, depending on, again, everyone's different in their take on things. That's where the struggle begins, but there's more of a definitive separateness.
mhm.
That's
Yeah, that
just
makes sense.
biological. That's just
Yeah.
biological. Whereas with a young lady, it's like, wait, you look like me. I don't know. I don't know
So
if I want to do it exactly like you, mom. And that's where the
yeah.
tussle begins. Yes.
Yeah, so, like, my daughters are, basically saying, like, evaluating, like, I've got good things, I got bad things, and from there, I've got some good traits, and I've got some bad traits, I've got some annoying traits, I'm sh know.
We all
And
do.
and so they're like, am I when I see this thing that maybe they don't like or whatever in me, is that part of who or in their mom, right? That
Mhm.
is that part of who I am, right? This is the question they're asking themselves. And or then they want to say, I'm not like you in these places, right? Like they want to really make that clear.
Yeah, and actually, one of the things that I tell a lot of my clients, and whether it's individual or in groups, is I let them know that the way in which you as an individual woman, i.e., mom, handle the experience of being separate, that is going to define and inform the way in which you deal with that whole process of your daughter transitioning out of being under your auspices directly to being outside of your auspices. And so,
Okay,
as you,
hold on.
okay.
So the way I'm dealing with like her separation, like us, like not maybe not having as much input and control and all of those things, you're saying that say that again, that
that
defines like
that 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 will inform and influence how what's going on the inside of you. So say for instance, if you have a mom, my brain has been on moms of daughters who are athletes lately. And
okay.
so say you have a mom who, and I talk about this in my book, What Mothers Have to Tell Their Daughters, but where there is a mom who came to me, her daughter's a gymnast. The mom herself had experiences as a collegiate swimmer, but now here's her daughter as a gymnast, and ways in which the mom had not dealt well with performance
Mhm.
started to seep into how she was reacting to her
Mm.
daughter's response to her own performance, i.e., the daughter was like, wait, I'm not performing well. I want to go get help, which is how they ended up in my office. And the mother was like, what? I didn't do that. Why are you doing that? How do I know that that's going to work? So that's just an example
Mhm.
of how when a daughter starts making decisions that are different than what the mother
Mm.
may
Mhm.
have thought they should make or
Yeah.
the time of when they should have made those decisions, that all plays into it. So that's more of what I'm saying. And actually, can you tell me a little bit how old your daughters are again?
Sure, they're right in your range, 11 and 14.
Okay, you're right in the thick of things. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
yep.
I am.
I
Do you have
love it. I love
daughters?
it. Yes, actually, I have twin daughters who are now currently 20, going on
Mm.
21. And so I do remember that age range, it playing out exactly like how it is. And what I found, just speaking as a mom here for a moment, that is that there were many things that I didn't realize were and I hate using the word triggering, but were prompting me to react a
Mm.
certain way. And that's why I'm all about moms learning how to pause, which is why I really appreciate the work that you do, because that it's in that pausing to consider what's going on in your behavior in the moment. That's how you can get your bearings on what's going on inside of you. And like for me, for our daughters, and even though they're twins, each one was pulling at a different thing in me. And I had
Mm.
to practice how to pause, to consider, okay, what's going on in the moment? Not so much to, lay blame anywhere. It's all about gaining understanding,
Yeah.
because it's with understanding that you can then make informed decisions about what you do next, or what you say next, how you say something next.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Janla Van Zant, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.